Today we're going to talk about the perfect preservation of the Quran. Is this a fact or a myth?
Adam, we're not live yet.
All right. Oh, sorry.
Wait until you see the sign, okay? Okay, everyone ready?
Increase the sound, Adam.
Your sound is very low.
Is this any better?
Okay.
Yes, good.
Oke, sudah siap, Pak? Udah go live?
Sudah go live, Bu.
Oke, kasih aba-aba ya, aku buka.
We are live now.
Oke.
Goes to Sofia Alayat and Adam El Masri. Silakan.
Oke. Halo, apa kabar teman-teman? Shalom buat semua teman-teman di seluruh Indonesia. Ini adalah hari yang sangat senang sekali ya. Anda boleh bersama-sama dengan Al Hayat International Ministry dan juga Brother Adam El Masri di sini, our guest speaker, international guest speaker. He's an Arabic speaker. Jadi kalau teman-teman semua, teman-teman Kristen atau teman-teman Muslims mau naik ke Zoom kami dan mau bertanya-tanya dengan Brother Adam, boleh ya. Nah, teman-teman, temanya hari ini yang akan kita bahas adalah the perfect preservations of the Quran. Jadi kita kan sering sekali mendengar kalau Muslim ini suka mengklaim bahwa kitabnya ini turun dari surga, ya, kitab gedebuk yang turun dari surga dan titik komanya nggak berubah. Sedangkan Alkitab kita kan punya banyak variasi teks ya, karena Alkitab memang ditulis oleh manusia. Nah, pada kesempatan sore hari ini ya, kita akan bahas dengan Brother Adam El Masri. Ya, let me introduce. You want to introduce yourself, Brother Adam, to the audience in Indonesia, or?
It's up to you. I'm not sure if the people in Indonesia would understand me speaking in English, or.
I will translate it for you.
Yeah,
Speak in English. I will translate it for you.
All right. So yeah, my name is Adam El Masri. I was born and raised in Egypt.
Nah, Brother Adam El Masri ini lahir dan besar di Mesir ya.
And I was born and raised as a Christian, Coptic Orthodox, but then I studied Islam from a very young age.
Jadi dia lahir dari keluarga Kristen Ortodok Mesir, tetapi dia sudah belajar Islam dari sejak kecil.
And I studied the Quran academically. I studied textual criticism, and I started my own YouTube channel criticizing Islam and the Quran.
Jadi Brother Adam secara akademis dia belajar mengenai tekstual kritis ya, atau kritik teks terhadap Quran, dan dia juga punya channelnya sendiri.
And yeah, that's it. Let's leave it here.
Okay, so we are in academic level. I just want to know the audience that you have a academic background, brother. So you know what you're talking about.
Yes. So I do have a bachelor degree of biblical studies and textual criticism, which I do as well apply to the Quranic material.
Okay. Ya, jadi Brother Adam El Masri ini bukan sembarang ya. Dia punya academic background ya. Jadi background studinya adalah textual criticism baik di dalam Alkitab ya, manuskrip Alkitab juga manuskrip Quran. Jadi dia belajar ya, teman-teman ya. Okay, we can start your presentation right now, Brother Adam. Go on.
Sure. Okay. And do the same thing. So I speak in English and pause for you to translate.
Yes.
Okay. So today we're going to talk about the perfect preservation of the Quran. Is that a true fact or a myth?
Oke, hari ini kita akan bicara mengenai pemeliharaan Quran. Apakah Quran ini dipelihara sempurna, titik komanya nggak berubah? Ini fakta atau cuma mitos?
So the first thing we need to understand or to look at is what is the claim? What do Muslims mean when they say the Quran was perfectly preserved?
Oke, yang pertama kita harus cek apa klaim Muslim. Apa yang mereka maksudkan ketika mereka mengatakan Quran ini terpelihara secara sempurna? Apa klaim mereka?
They say that the Quran was first revealed to the Prophet. He then passed it on to his followers. The followers memorized the Quran by heart. And they go as far as not a single letter or word was changed or lost from the Quran.
Oke, jadi mereka Muslim itu mengklaim seperti ini teman-teman. Quran ini diwahyukan kepada nabinya, ya Muhammad. Kemudian diteruskan kepada para pengikutnya dan pengikutnya ini menghafalkan Quran dengan hatinya. Ya, jadi mereka memorize the Quran ya. Kemudian mereka sampai hal yang sangat jauh teman-teman. Mereka menyatakan pernyataan ini. Tidak satu pun huruf atau kata-kata yang berubah ataupun hilang dari Quran.
And then the claim continues that this happened generation after generation till the present day. The Quran we have today is exactly the same to what the Prophet originally taught. That is the claim.
Oke, jadi mereka mengklaim dari generasi ke generasi sampai hari ini, ya, mereka mengklaim bahwa Quran yang kita miliki sekarang ini, versi Hafs ya, adalah sama persis seperti apa yang diwahyukan oleh nabinya, yang diajarkan nabinya 1400 tahun lalu.
But then when we look at the evidence we have in Islamic tradition, we will find that this claim is completely false.
Tapi lalu ketika kita mengecek ya dari kitab-kitab Islam dan tradisi Islam sendiri, ternyata klaim mereka, apa yang mereka klaim tadi, bahwa Quran ini terpelihara sempurna tidak berubah, ini ternyata adalah klaim yang sangat-sangat keliru dan tidak sesuai dengan fakta dan data.
We actually have a number of problems with that claim. The first problem we have is, in what dialect was the Quran revealed? Was it revealed in 1 or 7 dialects?
Oke, jadi ada beberapa masalah di dalam klaim bahwa Quran ini terpelihara sempurna. Masalah yang pertama, di dalam dialek apakah Quran ini diwahyukan? 1 atau 7?
The second problem is, did the Sahaba, the first people who knew the Prophet, did the Sahaba of the Prophet really memorize the Quran by heart as claimed?
Masalah kedua, benarkah para sahabat Nabi itu menghafalkan Quran dengan hati mereka seperti yang diklaim oleh Muslim?
Problem number 3 is, why did the people fight and kill each other over a perfectly preserved book?
Masalah ketiga, kenapa orang saling berantem, bertengkar, dan saling membunuh untuk mempertahankan bahwa Quran ini adalah kitab yang sempurna, bacaan mana yang paling benar?
The fourth problem is, why did Uthman, one of the caliphs, need to burn all other Qurans different to his canonized Quran?
Masalah yang keempat dari klaim Muslim, mengapa salah satu khalifah Islam ya, khalifah Muslim yaitu Utsman bin Affan, perlu untuk membakar versi-versi Quran yang berbeda dari Quran versinya Utsman?
The fifth problem is, why do we have so many versions of the Quran today if Uthman canonized only one Quran?
Masalah yang kelima, kenapa hari ini kita punya banyak versi Quran, versi Arabik Quran ya? Kalau pada waktu itu Utsman hanya menstandarisasi satu saja versi Quran.
And the last problem, the sixth problem, do we even have the complete Quran as revealed to the Prophet?
Dan masalah yang terakhir dan masalah yang keenam adalah, apakah yang sekarang ini kita punya Quran yang komplit seperti yang diwahyukan oleh Nabi pada zaman itu?
So let's take each of these problems and discuss it really quickly according to the Islamic tradition.
Oke, sekarang kita akan bedah satu-satu ya problemnya ini sesuai dengan apa yang dikatakan di dalam kitab Islam sendiri.
So I have all the I have two hadith on the screen here with all the references, and these two hadith are from Sahih al-Bukhari. They are both hadith sahih. One shows that when Uthman ordered the compilation of the Quran, he says, if you disagree with one another, you have to write it in the dialect of Quraysh. After all, the Quran was revealed in this dialect.
Oke, jadi kita cek ya hadis-hadis di dalam Quran mengenai standarisasi daripada Quran ini. Ada dua hadis di sini dari Sahih al-Bukhari, dan hadis ini dua-duanya sahih ya. I translate the first one, okay, from Sahih al-Bukhari,
Yeah,
4984. This is from sunnah.com, right?
Yes.
Ya, jadi ini hadis diambil dari sunnah.com. Anda bisa cek referensinya ya, Sahih al-Bukhari 4984 ya, buku nomor 66, hadis nomor 6. Dikatakan pada waktu Khalifah Utsman bin Affan memerintahkan Said bin Thabit ya untuk mengumpulkan Quran, dikatakan Quran ini harus dibukukan dalam dialek Quraisy ya, karena dalam dialek Quraisy inilah Quran diwahyukan. Jadi ini adalah hadis yang pertama. Okay. And the second hadith?
But then the second hadith, when two people conflicted about the Quran and they went and talked to the Prophet, one said something and the Prophet responded, okay, well, that's how the Quran was revealed. The other person said something completely different and the Prophet said, oh, okay, well, that also how it was revealed. For the Quran has been revealed in 7 different ways or 7 different dialects. That's the second hadith. You can translate it from what's written on the screen.
Okay, this is a quarrel between Hisham bin Hakim and I think Abu Bakar or Umar. It was revealed between who, brother? I forgot this hadith. Between Hisham bin Hakim and Umar, ya, right? Umar bin Khattab. Okay.
Yes.
So this is their quarrel, right? Ya, jadi ini adalah hadis yang kedua, teman-teman, dari Sahih Al-Bukhari 2419, buku nomor 44, hadis nomor 9. Jadi ada 2 yang bertengkar di sini ya. Jadi Umar bin Khattab dan Hisham bin Hakim, dia melafalkan surah Al-Furqan pada waktu itu dengan satu dialek, ya. Kemudian mereka berantem, ya. Karena Hisham bin Hakim ini melafalkan dengan dialek yang berbeda atau dengan bacaan yang lainnya. Nah, kemudian ketika mereka berantem, Muhammad mengatakan, oh, dua-duanya bacaannya benar, katanya begitu. Okay, brothers.
So what does the Islamic tradition tell us here in these 2 hadith? Did the Quran was the Quran revealed in the dialect of Quraysh, or was the Quran really revealed in 7 different dialects? The Islamic tradition does not tell us a clear picture.
Okay, jadi dari 2 hadis ini kita melihat ada masalah ya. Apakah Quran ini diwahyukan di dalam satu dialek, satu versi yaitu dialek Quraisy, atau sesuai dengan hadis yang kedua ini ya, bahwa Quran itu diwahyukan di dalam 7 dialek. Mana yang benar? Tradisi Islam tidak jelas tentang hal ini.
And now we move on to the problem number 2. Did the Sahaba really memorize the Quran?
Lalu kita ke masalah kedua, apakah para sahabat ini benar-benar hafal Qurannya?
We find here that Abu Bakr and Umar ibn al-Khattab, they both they were discussing together if they should compile the Quran and put it together, and how they can do that. And they ended up hiring this man. His name is Hudhayfa ibn al-Yaman. They hired this man to compile the Quran and put it together.
Oke, jadi ini adalah hadis yang berikutnya dari Sahih Al-Bukhari juga ya, 4986. Abu Bakar dan Umar bin Khattab ya, yang katanya kedua-duanya ini juga penghafal Quran, ternyata istilahnya menyuruh orang ya, atau membayar orang untuk menghafalkan Quran ini, untuk mengumpulkan Quran ini. Hudailifah ya, brother. Hudailifah.
We can see clearly in this hadith on the screen that neither Abu Bakr nor Umar ibn al-Khattab memorized the Quran. So they couldn't write the Quran themselves from memory.
Iya, jadi dari hadis ini jelas ya, teman-teman, diriwayatkan bahwa Abu Bakar dan Umar tidak benar-benar menghafal seluruh Quran. Mereka nggak bisa nulis Quran itu sendiri karena mereka nggak hafal seluruhnya.
They had to hire a man for that job, and the man in that hadith says that this is such a very hard task to do.
Mereka perlu ya membayar orang, menyuruh orang untuk menuliskan Quran ulang. Ya, dan orang yang disuruh ini menuliskan Quran ulang ini mengatakan bahwa aduh, itu pekerjaan yang sangat sulit untuk mengumpulkan Quran.
He was even doubtful that he can do that job. He said that moving a mountain is easier than this task.
Dia bahkan ragu-ragu apakah dia bisa menulis ulang semua Quran dan mengumpulkan Quran ini. Dia bahkan mengatakan sangat sulit. Lebih baik aku memindahkan gunung daripada disuruh mengumpulkan Quran. Ini pekerjaan yang sangat sulit sekali, dan dia merasa dia tidak dapat melakukannya.
And then when Hudhayfa went to really compile the Quran, the hadith tells us clearly that he didn't collect it from the people. He collected from the people as well as fragments, parchments, tablets, and all other material. So clearly the Quran wasn't memorized in the hearts of men.
Iya, Hudayfa or Zaid bin Thabit, brother?
Ya, Hudhaifa.
Oke, Hudayfa ketika disuruh mengumpulkan Quran ini, ya ternyata ini juga pekerjaan sangat sulit. Ya, dia mengumpulkannya tuh nggak dari satu tempat, tapi dari memori orang-orang, ingat-ingatan orang, kemudian dari fragmen-fragmen, dari pelepah kurma, dari batu-batu dan sebagainya, baru dikumpulin.
All right, now we are going to move to problem number 3, where we can see people fighting in conflict. And I have 2 hadith here. One is available in English, and the other one, the second hadith is, I have the reference on the screen, if you can see it. It's from a book called Al-Itqan fi Ulum al-Quran, As-Sayuti, volume number 1, page 165, and I will translate it in a moment.
Oke, jadi ada 2 hadis ini masalah ketiga ya. Orang-orang ternyata berantem gara-gara perbedaan bacaan ini, teman-teman, perbedaan bacaan Quran ini. Jadi ini ada hadis yang pertama diambil dari Sahih Bukhari, hadis yang kedua diambil dari Al-Itqan fi Ulum Al-Quran dari Al-Suyuti yang akan diterjemahkan oleh Brother Adam.
The first hadith on the screen, we can see that Hudayfa ibn al-Yaman, the very first name on the screen, came to Uthman at the time when the people were waging war. And as it says in the second line, Hudayfa was so afraid of how different these people were reciting the Quran.
Iya, jadi hadis yang pertama ini dari Sahih Al-Bukhari 4987, Hudayfa bin Al-Yaman ini datang ke Uthman ya pada waktu itu dalam kondisi mereka berperang ya, mereka sedang berperang di Azerbaijan ya, dan arminya di situ. Kemudian Hudayfa ini sangat takut karena pada waktu itu ada banyak perbedaan pembacaan Quran.
And he said to Uthman that the people are so different in their recitation that you gotta do something about it. Otherwise, they will end up like the Christians and the Jews in completely different sects and away from the truth.
Dan Hudayfa ini datang kepada Uthman, dia melaporkan, kamu harus melakukan sesuatu nih. Karena apa? Mereka membaca Qurannya tuh sangat-sangat berbeda. Bacaannya tuh nggak sama. Sehingga kamu harus melakukan sesuatu, jangan-jangan nanti mereka pecah-pecah menjadi berbagai macam sekte, seperti orang-orang Yahudi dan Kristen. Sehingga mereka makin jauh daripada kebenaran.
So that shows you how much the people were different. And in the rest of the story, as Uthman decides that they have to compile the Quran, again, it reiterates the fact that they have to write it from what was written, not collect it from the hearts of men.
Ya, jadi cerita selanjutnya di dalam hadis ini, ketika Utsman ya menyuruh Zaid mengumpulkan Quran pada waktu itu untuk menyalinnya kembali, dia tidak menyalinnya kembali dari apa yang di dalam memori orang-orang, tetapi dari apa Quran yang sudah tertulis pada waktu itu.
And in the second reference at the bottom of the page, it says that they were so different to the extent that they started killing one another.
Ya, di dalam hadis kedua di sini yang diambil dari Al-Itqan fi Ulum Al-Quran As-Suyuti volume 1 halaman 165, pembacaan Quran itu sangat berbeda, teman-teman, sampai mereka tuh saling membunuh gara-gara perbedaan bacaan ini.
So that shows you to what extent people really didn't memorize the Quran as the claim that it is perfectly preserved, but we will continue.
Oke, jadi ini menunjukkan ya bahwa Quran ini tidak seperti yang Muslim klaim, ya, tidak berubah sama dan semua orang mengingat mampu menghafalnya persis, sampai mereka saling membunuh di sini.
So finally, when Uthman was able to compile the Quran, and he finally had one canonized Quran, he then sent that Quran to all the Arab nations at the time. And then what he does after that is very interesting, because Uthman then decides to burn all other Qurans other than the one he compiled.
Iya, jadi pada waktu itu ketika ini problem keempat ya, Utsman membakar Quran yang asli ya. Jadi ketika Utsman menyelesaikan kanonisasinya, standarisasi Quran versinya Utsman, pada waktu itu dia membuat kopiannya dan dikirim ke beberapa kota-kota besar ya, yang pada waktu itu ada di bawah kekuasaan Muslim pada waktu itu ya. Dan masalah berikutnya muncul, yaitu dia membakar semua Quran-Quran yang berbeda dari versinya dia.
If the Quran was perfectly preserved, how come we have so many wrong copies that we need to burn?
Jadi kalau Quran ini benar-benar terpelihara sempurna, titik komanya tidak berubah sampai sehuruf-hurufnya, lalu mengapa ada versi Quran lain yang harus dibakar?
And then we move to problem number 5. Now, supposedly, Uthman compiled the Quran. He canonized only one copy. And even if the Quran came in 7 dialects, it was united in one dialect by Uthman. And that should be the only one Quran we find today. Is that right?
Yes.
But that's not the case.
Right.
So you can translate.
How many Arabic Qurans you find now? Like 37 or more than?
I think 27 is 100%. But people say that there are more. They're up to 37, but I know of 27.
Oke, jadi kalau ini problem kelima ya, hanya ada satu Quran atau ada banyak Quran? Kalau pada waktu itu Utsman membakar semua versi-versi Quran lainnya dan hanya tinggalkan satu versinya, mengapa sekarang kita menemukan banyak sekali bacaan-bacaan Quran yang berbeda? Bukan hanya satu dan bukan hanya 7. Ya, ada mengkonfirmasi yang dia tahu adalah 27 versi. Ya, di sini Anda lihat tuh ada mushaf macam-macam ya. Versi Wars, versi Kalaf, versi Hisam, versi Yakub, dan macam-macam. Tetapi ada lagi yang lain menemukan hampir 37 versi Quran. Tetapi Adam bisa mengkonfirmasi 27 versi Quran yang berbeda.
Alright, I don't need to read all these. And I'll move to the last problem. Which
And
is problem
do you think how many differences the variant text between all these 27 Quran? About 100,000 variant differences? Or?
The variants are in thousands. The question is how many variants really make a difference in the meaning. And we have this in tens of verses different in meaning.
Okay. Ya, jadi variasi teksnya perbedaannya itu ribuan, ya ratusan ribu. Tapi pertanyaan adalah dari variasi yang ribuan itu berapa yang membuat perbedaan arti? Ya, nanti kita akan lihat di dalam 10 versi Quran ini.
And then this is the last slide here. We have problem number 6. Even the Quran that we have today, can we say that this is a complete Quran? No, we cannot say that. And we have 3 evidence on the screen. I will translate in a sec.
Oke, jadi ini problem yang ke-6. Apakah Quran yang Muslim punya sekarang ini merupakan Quran yang komplit, persis seperti pada zaman Muhammad? Ternyata tidak, teman-teman. Dan ada 3 bukti yang menyatakan hal ini.
Okay. How much is missing in the Quran? Are we talking about missing chunks of the Quran? Are we talking about missing chapters of the Quran or missing verses? Actually, we have evidence for all these. We have missing chunks, we have missing chapters, we have missing verses.
Oke, jadi ada banyak yang hilang di dalam Quran. Ada ayat-ayat yang hilang, bukan hanya satu ayat ya, ada kalimat yang hilang, bahkan ada pasal yang hilang di dalam Quran, dan kita punya bukti-bukti mengenai hal ini.
In the first hadith or the first source I have on the screen, which is again from Al-Itqan fi Ulum al-Quran for Al-Sayuti, and the story says that Ibn Umar, which is the son of Umar, one of the second caliphs, he once found a man, people bragging about receiving the entire Quran, and he stops them and says, "Let no one of you say, I have learned the whole Quran, for how does he know what the whole Quran is when much of it has disappeared? Let him rather say, I have learned what is extent thereof." So what we have is only part of the Quran.
Yes, oke. Nah, ini adalah sumbernya dari buku yang namanya Al-Itqan fi Ulum Al-Quran. Jadi kalau Anda mau belajar bagaimana Quran ini terstandarisasi, Anda harus beli. Ini bukunya karya Al-Suyuti, ya, salah satu ulama besar Islam. Di dalam hadis ini dikatakan Umar, ya, ini adalah Ibn Umar ya, Ibn Umar ini anak daripada Umar bin Al-Khattab ya, khalifah kedua. Anaknya dari Umar bin Al-Khattab ini ya mengatakan bahwa dia mendengar ya bahwa Ibn Umar ini beberapa orang itu sangat-sangat bragging tuh, jadi bangga gitu ya. Mereka mengatakan, aku sudah menerima seluruh Quran, aku bisa menghafal seluruh Quran. Kemudian dia mengatakan, dia menyetop mereka, dia mengatakan itu nggak benar. Ya, jangan ada daripadamu yang mengatakan saya sudah mempelajari dan menerima seluruh daripada Quran. Karena kita tahu bahwa sebagian besar daripada Quran ini sudah hilang. Baiklah dia berkata, aku mempelajari apa yang tersisa atau apa yang tinggal. Jadi kita tahu bahwa Quran yang mereka pegang sekarang ini hanya merupakan bagian kecil. Ya, jadi hanya sepertiga, 2/3 bagian Quran itu sudah hilang, teman-teman.
The second hadith or the second source is from a book called Al-Durr al-Manthur by Al-Sayuti as well. Now, Al-Sayuti is talking about one of the earliest mushaf or the earliest Quran that was in Islamic history, which is Mushaf Ubay ibn Ka'b. This is a guy from the time of the Prophet. And Al-Sayuti tells us that Ubay ibn Ka'b, in his Quran, there were two chapters called Surah Al-Hafd and Surah Al-Khula. And these two surahs are not existent in the Quran today, but they were in Ubay ibn Ka'b's Mus'haf.
Oke, sumber yang kedua yang menyatakan bagian besar daripada Quran ini sudah hilang bukan hanya 1 atau 2 ayat, tapi 2 surah. Sumbernya adalah Al-Dur Al-Mantur yang ditulis sama ya Al-Suyuti. Jadi dikatakan di sini dia merujuk kepada mushaf yang lebih tua yang ditulis oleh Ubay bin Ka'b. Jadi Ubay bin Ka'b itu punya mushaf Quran sendiri. Di dalam mushafnya Ubay bin Ka'b dikatakan ada 2 surah yang penting, surah Al-Haf dan surah Al-Qala di situ yang tidak ada di dalam Quran yang sekarang ini. Jadi 2 surah ini hilang.
Now, some Muslim apologists today will tell you that these were just prayers or ad'iyah, like simple prayers. They weren't really surah. That's not the argument here. Be careful what Muslim apologists are saying, because the most important thing is whether they were prayers or they were ad'iyah or they were actual surahs from the Quran. It just shows that people weren't memorizing everything similarly to each other.
Iya, jadi sangat hati-hati ya menaik klaim para muslim sekarang atau muslim-muslim apologet sekarang. Mereka mengklaim, ini surah ini nggak penting kok, itu cuma doa-doa pendek aja, ya berupa doa-doa yang pendek yang ya nggak penting lah surah ini. Hati-hati ya teman-teman, berarti ini menandakan apakah itu doa atau apapun ya, karena mereka mengklaim tidak satu pun dari Quran ini yang hilang. Ya, ini menunjukkan bahwa orang-orang pada waktu itu tidak menghafal secara sempurna. Jadi tidak semua para sahabat itu menghafal Quran itu sempurna dari awal sampai surah akhirnya. Ini menunjukkan bahwa Quran tidak terpelihara sempurna dan ada bagian Quran yang hilang.
And then the final evidence we have here is hadith sahih from Al-Bukhari, once more. And in this, it's hadith coming from, just let me get the source 1 second. Zayd ibn Thabit. So it goes back to Zayd ibn Thabit. That was the guy who actually compiled the Quran with Uthman or for Uthman. And he says that when they were trying to write the chapter Surah Al-Ahzab, there was one missing verse. They couldn't find it anywhere.
Iya, jadi ini bukti satu lagi ya dari Sahih Al-Bukhari 4787 buku nomor 65 hadis nomor 306. Zaid bin Thabit ini orang yang mengcompile atau mengumpulkan Quran untuk Utsman ya. Dia mengatakan ketika dia mengumpulkan menulis surah Al-Ahzab, ada ayat yang hilang dan tidak ditemukan pada siapapun.
So they had to include this verse even though they needed 2 witnesses to add each verse. In this case, they just went with 1 witness and they included it in the Quran.
Oke, jadi biasanya kalau surah ini, ayat ini masuk di Quran, mereka perlu 2 saksi. Apakah benar-benar ayat ini ada di dalam Quran? Ya, mereka panggil 2 saksi. Tapi ternyata di dalam kasus ini, karena nggak ditemukan ke siapapun, kecuali ini ya, Kuzaimah Al-Anzori ini, jadi mereka cuma 1 saksi saja nih, bahwa memang ayat itu ada di dalam Quran.
So from all the evidence that we can see or all the problems that I have presented, there is no way the Quran was perfectly preserved as claimed that everyone knew the Quran word for word, similar to each other. This doesn't match at all what the Islamic tradition is saying.
Iya, jadi dari semua problem yang sudah saya sampaikan tadi dan dari semua yang sudah bukti-bukti yang sudah saya paparkan di sini, jelas bahwa klaim Muslim yang menyatakan Quran ini terpelihara sempurna dan bahwa semua orang menghafal Quran secara sempurna sampai setitik komanya, itu tidaklah benar dan tidak sesuai dengan bukti-bukti yang ada di dalam kitab-kitab mereka sendiri. Oke, ini channelnya Adam El Masri, teman-teman. Yang Inggris Anda bisa ikuti, Adam El Masri English channel, criticizing Islam and the Quran.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so are you ready for question and answer now? Because I think we have a lot of questions and we also have Muslims in the room.
Yes, absolutely. I'm ready for all questions.
Oke, teman-teman, dari tadi yang sudah dipaparkan Adam El Masri, jadi teman-teman Kristen juga harus tahu bagaimana Quran ini dikompilasi. Ternyata banyak yang hilang ya. I think 2/3 part of the Quran were missing, brother. Right?
Yes.
Oke. Jadi 2/3 dari Quran ini hilang, teman-teman. The one left now is just like 1/3 of the whole Quran, as Umar bin Khattab said.
Claims, yeah.
Ya, Umar bin Khattab. Jadi tinggal 1/3 daripada Quran pada zaman Muhammad ini yang masih ada. Oke. Ada yang mau bertanya mengenai hal ini? Ada yang mau membantah? Kalau Muslim, saya silakan pakai bahasa Arab. Awas ya kalau nggak bisa bahasa Arab ya. Ada yang klaim katanya bisa bahasa Arab. None of the Indonesians Muslim, they really know Arabic, brother. Most of the 85%, they claim like, you cannot criticize Quran and Islam because you don't understand Arabic and you don't speak Arabic. But like 85% of Indonesian people, although we are most majority are Muslims, they don't even speak one Arabic.
Amazing.
Yes, they don't understand what they recite. You just recite something that they don't know, you know.
Yeah. The funny thing is, even I, when I criticize the Quran in Arabic, some apologists will say, "Well, your Arabic is not that great." I'm like, "Really? I was born and raised in Egypt, and you telling me that Arabic is not my..." Yeah. You're a fake Arab. Ya, jadi ada Mesmari mengatakan ya, bahkan ketika dia mengkritik Islam, dia dalam bahasa Arab, ini orang Arab ya teman-teman ya, mereka mengatakan, "Allah, bahasa Arabmu tuh nggak bagus." Terus ada mengatakan, "Loh, bahasa Arabku nggak bagus, aku lahir di Mesir," dia bilang gitu ya. Jadi aku ini orang Arab asli, itu bahasa ibuku, bahasa lidahku, dia bilang gitu. Jadi ya lucu sekali. Silakan Muslim, kalau yang Anda mau naik, Anda harus bisa berbahasa Arab. Silakan, Anda mau tanya sendiri dengan Adam. Saya buka floor untuk questions and answer Q&A. Ada yang mau tanya teman-teman? Kalau enggak, kita mau tanya nih. Brother, I want to show you some evidence of different, like you said before, 27 Arabic Quran. Yeah.
Okay, so as an Arabic speaker, I want to take advantage of that, and I want you to know exactly. Because Muslims say, "Oh, it's just a dialect." It's like Sofiatul is the difference between the dialect. It's just like Malik Yomidin and then Malik Yomidin. You know, the short, the short and the long. It's just no difference. But what do you think about this? Let me show you. Do you have many difference?
I can tell you one example that is in my head at the moment.
Oh, no. I will show you. Wait.
Okay.
And then you can recite me in Arabic. What's the difference between this?
Okay. Sure.
Between these two. Okay, teman-teman, saya akan kasih Brother Adam. Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes, I can.
Okay, right now, I think we have like this 37 Arabic Quran that we have found now. Like Hafs version, Warsh version, Kalun, Al-Duri, Al-Susi, I don't know, which has like 93, and we are counting like 93 and 263,000 differences between them. And then, okay, this is one of the example. What about this Hafs version, brother? Is that a big differences, or they just say it's not? Is that a difference in meaning? What do you think about this, Hafs and Kalun?
It is. There is a difference in meaning between naghfiru and yaghfiru. However, it has a very easy way out to be apologetic. In Arabic, you can say a verb in plural or in single. So they claim that this is not a difference. It's just in one case, God is talking as in singular. The second verse is God is talking in plural, just as a glorifying. So he refers to himself as we instead of
Yes.
I.
Yeah,
So people claim
also
that it's not a
strange.
big. It is different, absolutely. Whether you want to make a big deal of it or not, that's a different story.
Oke, jadi ini ada saya tunjukkannya. Ini versi Hafs, Nakfiru. Yang ini Yakfiru ya, brother ya. Versi Kalun. Ini jadi ada yang single, ada yang ini plural ya, dalam bentuk jamak. Ini bentuk single.
Naghfiru is we, yes.
Ya, Nakfiru is we, ya, plural. Jadi ini Tuhan di sini mengatakan kami, tapi di sini mengatakan dia, ya, dalam bentuk jamak maupun bentuk single. Mereka mengatakan ini nggak big deal gitu ya, nggak masalah besar. Tapi ini masalah besar, teman-teman ya. Ini yang satu Tuhan mengatakan kami ya, siapa yang mengampuni gitu kan? Nah kemudian this is also, is it a big deal or not?
This is a bit of a big deal because now we're saying that if you're not fasting, you need a restitution. You need to solve that problem. So in one version, it says that if you cannot fast, so you have to feed one poor person. While in the other one, it's talking in the plural. So if you cannot fast, you have to feed a lot of poor people. So is it one only is enough, or do we have to feed a number of poor people? Which one is enough?
Oh, so that makes a difference in the in the Sharia law in the
Yes.
Muslims. Oh,
Yes.
Oke. Jadi kalau ini surah Al-Baqarah nih ya, surah 2 ayat 184. Kalau kamu nggak puasa, kemudian kamu harus ngasih makan orang miskin kan, gantinya sebagai restitusi atau penggantian. Nah, harus ngasih makan satu orang apa banyak orang? Ini jadi masalah teman-teman di dalam mereka melakukan syariat Islamnya gitu. Ya. Yeah, this is kind of different in the meaning, right? Al-Baqarah
I
first.
cannot read it clearly. Give me one sec.
Dafu and Difa'u. Ini Quran versi Hafs dan Quran versi Wars Al-Azraq. Jadi bagaimana dia membacanya ya?
I am not sure about this one, to be honest.
Okay, let me get to another one. Is it clear for you?
Yes.
Does it make a lot of difference in meaning?
Yes, it does. This one is a very interesting one because فتقبلها ربها بقبول حسن وأنبتها نباتا حسنا وكفلها زكريا is different from the other one that says وكفلها زكريا. So the verb here is completely different in meaning. Meaning, did Zechariah is a person. So did Zechariah put that burden on Maryam, or was he the person taking the burden of Maryam? It's completely different meanings.
Oke, di dalam ini contoh ya yang membuat perbedaan arti ya, surah 3 ayat 37 yang dibacakan Adam tadi ya. Apakah Zakaria itu yang memeliharanya? Apakah Maria sendiri ya yang menjadikan pemeliharaan? Jadi bebannya pada Maria atau pada Zakaria. Jadi ini sangat-sangat merubah arti. So it has a different meaning.
Yes.
And this is a big deal, brother? Tu'allimun.
تعلمون وتعلمون. Yes, one is saying كنتم تعلمون, meaning you are educating others about the books, where the first one is you know about the books.
Okay. So it has a different meaning.
Yes.
So
is it are you teaching others about the books, or are you well taught about the books?
Jadi bedanya dua ya. Apakah kamu mau mengajarkan kitab ini kepada orang lain, atau kamu tuh diajar, kamu tahu. Nah, ini ada perbedaan di sini gitu. So, brother, for the Muslims, if we have like two different versions of the Quran here and two different recitations of the Quran. What is the implication? I mean, like if I read maybe in because I'm a Christian, so when I read like Textus Receptus version, and then I read like the critical text versions, like the short versions of the Bible, I mean, it doesn't really have much more implications. I mean, like what do they have to recite exactly the same, or what is the implications? Oh, they have to.
So one implication is well, the word is different. So whichever version you choose to recite, there is a different version that you're not reciting.
If the one is wrong, I mean, they have to know which one is in the Law Mahfuz. Is that true?
Exactly. Which one God uttered? Which one actually Muhammad said? Did he say tu'allimun or did he say ta'lamun? Because they are two different words. This is not the same word.
Oke, jadi kalau buat Muslim, teman-teman, perbedaan baca ini sangat-sangat besar artinya ya. Karena mereka harus menghafalkan persis dan membaca persis seperti yang ada di Lauh Mahfuz. Seperti apa yang Tuhan tulis. Sedangkan kalau kita enggak, misalnya kita baca baca Alkitab yang versi Textus Receptus atau yang versi yang lebih pendek, ya nggak apa-apa gitu. Dua-duanya benar, mana yang pakai manuskrip mana yang Anda percaya. Tapi kalau di dalam sebagai seorang Muslim, Anda harus benar-benar membacanya persis. So you don't really know which one God recited in the heaven, right? So this is a problem.
We have no idea which one God said.
Yes. Okay, so this is also so if they recite it different, brother, they don't get I mean a good deeds or something. Is it like, because they say if you recite the Quran, then you get more good deeds just by memorize and by reciting the Quran. More credit. But if you recite the wrong Quran, so it will be no good for them. Is that what
God is all mercy.
Iya. Jadi kalau mereka menghafalkan Quran versi yang salah, ya mereka nggak dapat poin gitu ceritanya ya, nggak dapat kredit, teman-teman. Amalnya hilang gitu, amal menghafalnya. Yeah, this is another differences.
This one is very interesting one, because one word وكأين من نبي قاتل معه means fought with him, just fighting, while the other one says وكأين من نبي قتل معه, as in actually killed others. So one is says fighting, the other is say killing.
Iya, ini bedanya cukup lumayan ya teman-teman, dalam perbedaan arti ya, surah 3 ayat 146. Satu artinya berperang, yang satu lagi artinya itu dibunuh, teman-teman. Katala dan kutila, jadi berbeda sekali di sini ya. Yes, this is also so we have so many differences in the Quran. Al-Ashabani and Hafs, like, but mostly most Muslim, they use this version, right? The Hafs.
Yes, Hafs is the most.
Yes.
Yeah.
Jadi Muslim banyak kan pakai yang versi Hafs ini ya, teman-teman.
This one is similar to the first one, like yaghfir and nafi. It's like we and I,
yes.
the plural and the singular.
Plural and singular. Ya, ini satunya jamak, satunya tunggal ya. Now, what about this one?
It's too far. I cannot read it in the Arabic. The picture is very pixelated.
Iya, nggak ini ya.
There is a very interesting one that I cannot.
Contoh lainnya yaitu wait a minute.
Okay.
Surah 7 ayat 1. I'll show you another one. Is too far. You cannot fit it in. What about this one, brother?
Oh my God! This is completely. This is problematic. This one is completely different words. I haven't seen this one before. This is amazing.
Ini surah 7 ayat.
Shuraka means so that the one in Mus'haf Hafs on the left, shuraka means co-workers or cooperation.
Cooperation, yeah.
Companions.
Alliance, yeah.
Yes, alliance. Thank you. That's the word. While the one on the right is actually shirkan. It's a negative word about people who worship others next to God. So shirkan,
it's completely different meaning and different.
Completely
yeah.
It's not even similar meaning. It's completely different word from two different contexts.
Ya, ini konteksnya jadi berbeda nih teman-teman kata ini ya. Jadi ini sangat-sangat berbeda. Yang satu dijadikan sekutu, yang satu politeisme ya. Syirkan.
Shirkan is when you worship someone next to God.
Ya, syirik ya. Like you associate God with another God. Like polytheism.
You worship.
Yeah, syirik. You worship, yeah.
Yeah, you worship someone other than God, while the other one is companions or
so yeah, it's very different
partners.
in meaning, positive and negative. So yeah, okay. Yeah, this shows difference. I think is one is adjective.
One is lasahirun, which means magicians, while the other one is magic. So one is magician, talking about the person. The Jammaz says sihrun, which is the magic itself.
Iya, yang ini versi Ibn Jamas ini bicara pekerjaan sihir ya. Jadi ini completely different ya. Ini bicara different. Nah, ini juga. What do you think the difference is just in the harakat, brother? Or the razam, the completely different is in the razam, or just
most of the examples that you showed were in the harakat. However, the one we were talking about, shirkan and shuraka, that's different in rasm, in the writing itself.
In the razam. So this is okay. Let me show you maybe another one. What about this one, brother? The sun set in a muddy water.
Hamiya and hami'a.
Hamiya.
It also has two different meanings. One meaning hot, and the other means black and murky.
Yang satu ini berarti panas, yang satu berarti berlumpur dan hitam ya. Jadi ini matahari terbenam di lumpur hitam. This is different in harakat or just different in razam? Which one is different in razam?
This is different in rasm.
Iya, ini razamnya beda ya. Hurufnya memang beda nih teman-teman. Bukan cuma harakatnya doang ya. Bukan cuma taskilnya aja nih yang berbeda. Terus mana lagi ya? Yeah, I think we have lots of this.
There is one actually very interesting one that you haven't displayed on the screen, which is in Surah Muhammad.
Surah Muhammad. Okay, let me.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe this is just an example from many thousands. Oh yeah. What about this one, brother? This is Fadil Sulaiman. Like he has like the 10 qiraat. So he has a magister in Sharia law.
Yeah.
And he had this Quran. He said like from that all the difference and the variant in the textual Quran itself, 30% of the differences it changed the meaning. Do you agree with Fadil Sulaiman? How many percentage do you think
I wouldn't be able to put a percentage on it, to be honest, because I haven't gathered all the numbers. But there are clearly a good number of verses that would change meaning completely. And one of them is the verse in Surah Muhammad where it says,
yes. Do you have the example? Do you want to share your screen?
Try to find it if you allow me. Just give me one moment.
Okay.
I'll try to find.
Jadi kalau menurut Fadil Sulaiman tadi ya teman-teman 30 itu mempunyai perbedaan arti. Now this one, brother, I also have from manuscripts. I think I want, but this is a differences in textual manuscript. Do you know this one? This is from Daniel Alan Brubaker. So when we compare the Hafs Quran or the Cairo editions, and we compare with the manuscript in the top copy in the And the Umayyad Codex, they
Yeah.
said like they have many differences, including this one.
They insert the name Allah.
Yeah, they insert the word Allah, right?
Yeah.
Jadi ini adalah contoh-contoh ketika kita bandingkan Quran yang dipegang Muslim sekarang versi Hafs dengan manuskrip dari zaman Umayyah. Ini ada kata-kata yang disisipkan. Ini banyak sekali kata-kata Allah ini disisipkan, teman-teman. Ini sisipan, dihapus kemudian ditambahin, ditimpa nih, disisipkan. Kemudian ada yang dihapus juga nih kata-kata ini kalau kita bandingin. So like, yeah, this one is erased, as you can see. So they're not preserved very well, especially the one that I show you. Why this one have erasure, overwritten, extra words, insertion, and erasure, overwritten again. So
Yeah.
it's their claim that the Quran is perfectly preserved. It's not proof.
That it's not true completely, and it's not only what we see in the manuscripts, but also the Islamic tradition confirms that people fought one another and they argued with one another. If the Quran was
Yes.
perfectly preserved, how can people argue with one another?
Iya, jadi fakta ya, klaim bahwa Quran ini tidak berubah sempurna ternyata itu nggak benar. Karena selain dari manuskrip sendiri yang kita bandingkan ini, teman-teman, yang kita tunjukkan bahwa ada banyak sekali penyisipan, penghapusan, ya, kemudian ditulis ditimpa ulang, ya. Dari tradisi Islam sendiri menunjukkan mereka tuh saling berperang, bahkan saling membunuh, teman-teman. Gara-gara bacaannya tuh sangat-sangat berbeda. Jadi nggak benar kalau Quran ini terpelihara secara sempurna.
I found
do you wanna-
I found the one
Yes.
that I was
Okay.
telling you about, which is
Yes,
Surah
you can share.
Muhammad, verse. I don't have it in English though. Okay.
Okay, do you want me to open the Quran?
So if you open the Quran, Surah 47,
Surah 47.
verse number 4.
Okay, let me open. Surah 47. Surah 47.
Verse number 4, yes.
4. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's that last part as it reads, وَالَّذِينَ قُتِلُوا فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ فَلَنْ يَضِلَّ أَعْمَالَهُم. Now, this part, there are 3 different writings in Mus'haf Hafs, Mus'haf Warsh, and one another. 3 different meanings. One says, وَالَّذِينَ قُتِلُوا فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ means those who were killed in war for God, they will go to heaven.
Yeah, jadi
And the second reading says, وَالَّذِينَ قَاتَلُوا فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ, those who fought in a war for God, so that they weren't killed, but they just fought. And the third writing, وَالَّذِينَ قَتَلُوا فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ, means they actually killed the infidels. So 3 completely different meanings.
Iya, jadi Quran surah 47 ayat 4, ini dari 3 versi Quran itu nulisnya beda-beda, ya. Ada yang menulisnya begini, mereka yang mati terbunuh pada waktu jihad, itu mereka masuk surga. Tapi ada yang mereka ikut berperang aja, nggak usah mati, masuk surga. Tapi ada yang mengatakan mereka ketika membunuh orang kafir, baru mereka masuk surga. Jadi ada 3 arti di sini, di dalam Quran surah 47 ayat 4 ini yang berbeda. Okay. What else, brother? I'm gonna ask you something about. Okay, ada yang angkat tangan. Okay, someone wants to ask you a question.
Sure.
Let me translate for you. Silakan, Pak Jono. Open your mic.
Okay, hi. Thank you very much, Bu Sophie. Thank you. I just want to say thank you very much, Brother Adam, for everything, for the great presentation and all. Because I really like the point that you made earlier that actually even from the first Mus'haf, everything was collected not based on oral transmission, but based on fragments. That's a very strong point. But I'm not going to go down. My question is actually about dialects, because the reason for me asking it's because this is, I think, probably the most common response that we get from Muslims, apologets and polemicals, not just here in Indonesia, but also all over the world, that all the differences are due to the different dialects. So as an Arabic native speaker, I would like you I would like to ask you to actually elaborate a little bit to explain to us, the non-native Arab speaker, what is actually dialect means. Because, for example, here in Indonesia, for us, different dialect means it's different ways of pronouncing a word, but still it's written the same way. So it's written with the same letters and alphabet. So it's written exactly the same, but just pronounced differently. So what is it like for Arabic language? Is it the same case that it's supposed to be written exactly the same, just pronounced differently, or it's something else? Because I think this information about dialects would clarify lots of things, because for sure we've seen the fact that there are differences in many Qurans, but what are these differences? Of course, the Muslims always say that this is dialect. So again, it will be very enlightening for us to hear from you, an Arabic native speaker, what is actually dialect in Arabic language. Thank you.
Yeah, okay. Let me emphasize first, Brother Adam.
Sure.
I also want to emphasize what Brother Jonas just said today. If the difference is in the dialect, you don't have to burn the Quran, because the razam they are still the same, right? Because they're like also 17 consonants in the time of Muhammad. So why do they have to burn?
Exactly.
It's the difference is a dialect. It's not in the razam. So can you tell us, enlighten us, is it a dialect, or is it ahruf, or is it razam? What's the difference between them?
Okay, so in Arabic, first of all, you made a very good point that if it was only difference in dialects, then we wouldn't find different written Qurans that Uthman needed to burn. That means the difference wasn't really in dialects or accents. It was different wording altogether. Now, in Arabic, there are a few different ways in a dialect. The closest examples in English would be an Egyptian would say motorbike, but a person from Iraq would say motorcycle. Now, here we're talking about two different words. We call it motorbike and they call it motorcycle. So that's not just a difference in pronunciation. We're talking about two different words. But you also have the words where you pronounce it differently. Like we say tomato, they say tomato. It's the same word, written the same way, but pronounced differently. So these are the two examples of a dialect. However, when we look at the Quran today, we find differences that doesn't fall under dialect, neither does it fall under different accents. The example that I gave earlier about qutilu and qatalu and qatalu, these are three different words that are not different in any dialect between any of the Arab countries. So if you compare this word in Saudi Arabia, in Iraq, in Egypt, in Morocco, we all agree that these three words are completely different. One means they were killed, one means they fought, and the third one means they killed another person. It's not like they were killed, but they killed the kafirs. So this doesn't fall under dialect or accents or here the Muslim apologetic doesn't stand completely.
Oke. Jadi kalau tadi ya yang perbedaan tuh apa sih, dialek atau ahrufnya atau apa? Tadi berada menjelaskan ya, misalnya ada orang ngomong motorcycle dan motorbike. Ini jelasnya dua kata yang berbeda. Tapi ada juga yang mengatakan menyebutnya kata tomato, satunya tomato, misalnya begitu ya. Itu kan dialeknya beda, tapi razamnya atau hurufnya itu sama. Nah, tapi ada beberapa kata di dalam bahasa Arab Quran, itu sebenarnya di dalam dialek manapun. Kalau Anda pergi ke Arab Saudi, ke Maroko, kemana ke negara Arab, ke semua negara Arab, itu sama sebenarnya penyebutannya. Jadi ini nggak bisa dijelaskan oleh Muslim apologist gitu ya. Bagaimana ini bisa berbeda-beda, sedangkan dialeknya sama. Seperti itu. Brother Jono, udah jelas atau ada yang mau ditanyakan? Silakan. Brother Adam, I don't think that Muhammad said the difference is in dialect. I think the difference is in ahruf, right? Not
Yes,
in dialect.
yeah, the word he used, al-ahruf al-sab'a, meaning, they say that it means dialects, or different, kind of different language, different tribal language.
Oke. Oke, Pak Jono ada mau tanya lagi?
Nggak, Bu, terima kasih. Thank you very much, Brother Adam. It's very clear now. I think for me and to all of us here and all the other Indonesians that actually, again, it's not true that it's differences or the differences that was shown earlier or in other occasions, there were dialects differences, but as you said, they are not classified or categorized or fall into that category of differences in dialects. So again, thank you very much. Thank you. It's very clear now.
You're welcome.
Okay, I want to ask you something about the seven aruf.
Yeah.
I think I'm a little suspicious about this story about the seven aruf, because I think the seven aruf is just Muhammad cover his pupu, like he recite to the Sahaba, one Sahaba different, and then another to another Sahaba different, and they have a argument and fight. And then Muhammad said, "Okay, don't fight. You're right, and you are right also." Like Jibril, Jibril sent down the seven aruf. And I also asked Muslim apologists, did Jibril, because in the story, about the seven aruf, I'm also going to ask you, Jibril, came down and up 7 times, just recited different this dialect to Muhammad. Does that make sense, brother? I mean, I'm very sorry, this is a stupid story.
It doesn't make sense at all. And
Yes.
also it stands in conflict with the other story where Uthman said, if you have any argument about the Quran, write it in the dialect of Quraysh, because this is how the Quran was revealed. So now Uthman is perfectly stating that the Quran was revealed in one dialect, which is the dialect of Quraysh. So where the hell is the 7 dialects are coming from?
Iya, jadi saya tanya kepada Brother Adam ya, apakah ini cerita yang bisa kita percaya secara logika bahwa Jibril itu naik turun untuk melafalkan 7 dialek untuk Muhammad? Where did Jibril get this recitation, the second dialect from, brother? The first heaven or the 7th heaven? Because as far as I know, it really doesn't make sense, and they cannot answer me. They just cannot answer me. Like, because they said like this Quran came down from the 7th heaven to the first heaven, and then from this first heaven, Jibril recited in partial for 33 years to Muhammad, and then Muhammad said every time Jibril sent down this Quran, it has to be in 7 dialect, right? So Jibril must came down, up and down, up and down, or where did he get this? It doesn't, like, I don't understand this.
I don't think anyone understands that. I don't think even Muslims themselves, they don't understand it. But they have to come up with some defense somehow. Because also you then ask them, so which one is actually the dialect written in Al-Luh al-Mahfuz? Or even the one in Al-Luh al-Mahfuz is written in 7 different dialects? But then even if it's written in 7 different dialects, as we can see, we have about 37 different mushafs. Does that mean the Luh Mahfuz up in heaven includes of 37 different versions of the Quran?
Yes, which one is written in Luh Mahfuz anyway? Ya, jadi ini mencurigakan ya, kisah mengenai bahwa Jibril menurunkan di dalam 7 bacaan 7 aruf. Anda percaya nggak sih cerita ini, teman-teman, bahwa Jibril itu harus turun naik setiap kali melafalkan Quran dalam 7 dialek. Jadi Muhammad mengatakan Jibril itu membacakannya dalam 7 dialek. Jadi Jibril naik dulu nih, bacain 1 dialek. Naik lagi, turun lagi, bacain 2 dialek kedua. Naik lagi, turun lagi. Nah, ini nggak masuk di akal, teman-teman. Gitu ya. Jadi dengan banyaknya Quran yang kita temukan sekarang, tadi ada sekitar 37 versi Quran yang kita temukan, itu Jibril tuh bacaan yang mana dan mana yang ditulis di Lauh Mahfuz gitu. Oke, sang penggugat silakan. Bantu buka mic ya, teman-teman, moderator. Halo, sang penggugat silakan. Sang penggugat.
Iya. Aduh, mau buka mod susah, woi. Di mod. Jadi gini ya.
This
Ya.
is your brother Adam. He's also a descendant of Egypt. I don't know how far
Oh,
he's
hello.
from Egypt.
I'm from Nubian.
From Nubian.
Yeah,
Yeah, hello,
Nubian
hello.
family.
My,
My,
my
You-
good-
my grandfather.
oh,
your
wow.
grandfather
But
is
you
a-
don't
is
speak
still
Arabic, do
Firaun.
you?
No. I born in Indonesia.
All right.
Ya, oke. Gua tadi mau ngomong apa? Gue jadi lupa tuh. Oh,
You look like an Egyptian brother.
lu tanya nih. Ini tadi lu tanya Bu Sofi. Setahu gua sih itu yang berantem itu emang satu suku, satu logat.
Iya,
Yang
mau
dua-duanya
tanya itu.
loh. Gua tahu
Iya.
sih itu berdua itu memang
Oke,
satu logat.
Okay,
Bukan orang
brother
yang beda
Adam.
daerah.
Yes,
Yeah.
the hadith that you showed before about the fight of Hisham bin Hakim and Umar bin Khattab, they are in the same tribe, in the Quraysh tribe, so they have no different in dialect. So why do they fight about? I think the difference between the long versions.
Which hadith?
The fight between Umar bin Khattab and Hisham bin Hakim. Let me show you.
Let me go back.
This second slide, I think. Can you show the slide? Pak Petra bisa bantu show the slide, please. Slide-nya Brother Adam.
I can show the slide if you want.
Yes.
So if I go here.
Dia co-host ko Bu, bisa show.
Okay. Yeah, you can share your screen, brother.
I'm trying. So, okay. Here we are. And share. Yep, here it is.
I'm not seeing any slides.
Oh. Sorry, I'm having technical problem here.
Ini teman-teman Muslim ada nggak sih? Yeah. Oh, no. The second. Would I even know? Up. The problem number 2, I think. No, problem number 2, brother.
Oops. Oh, come on. Oops. It's not going. Here we are. Sorry. So this is the one that you're talking about?
No, up again, brother. Hisham bin Hakim and Umar bin Khattab. Yes. Okay, stop. The second hadith revealed in the 7 Arabic dialect is that like Umar bin Khattab, this is narrated by Umar bin Khattab, right? And he heard Hisham bin Hakim recited Surah Al-Furqan in another way. So they are from one tribe. Sahabat Ashir, like Umar bin Khattab and Hisham bin Hakim is from Quraishi tribe. So they don't have any different in dialect. So why do
Right.
they fight for, brother? Can you explain this?
That's an interesting one. I didn't know that Hisham bin Hakim and Umar bin Khattab are both from the same tribe. I haven't looked into that.
Yeah, they are from the same tribe, from Quraysh.
Okay,
So,
that-
as far as I know, this hadith said like, Hisham bin Hakim recited Surah Al-Furqan longer. They have like the first is like longer than the Umar bin Khattab recited. So they have thought about this. And like they are from one tribe, so they are from the tribe of the Quraysh. And why do they fight for? You know, the difference is not in dialect. I think the difference is in razam.
Interesting, because later on in the hadith at the bottom, the Prophet says that the Quran nazal ala sab'at ahruf. The Quran was revealed in 7 different ways, and that is interesting. Why would it be a different way between Hisham bin Hakim and Umar bin Khattab? to be honest, I haven't been. I never paid attention to that tribal similarity between the two guys. I will look into it more.
Iya, Sang Penggot ada lagi yang mau ditanyakan?
Udah nggak ada, Bu. Hanya itu aja. Ya, setahu saya sih memang mereka satu ini berasal dari satu bani, gitu ya. Cuma berantemnya kenapa itu gue nggak tahu deh. Kenapa bisa jadi alasan berantem?
Iya, karena satu melafalkannya lebih panjang.
Hanya gara-gara napasnya lebih panjang aja ya?
Bukan
Ya.
nafasnya lebih panjang. Maksudnya ayatnya itu lebih panjang gitu loh. Ada ayat-ayat yang enggak ini.
Ya kayak.
Oke, silakan Pak Jono. Pak Jono, silakan.
Yes, thank you. I've just unmuted. Thank you so much, Sophie. Brother Adam, I do have a second question actually. This is slightly off topic, if I may. It's still about the Quran and the writings of Quran. Because I've been wanting to ask this particular question to a native Arabic speaker. So I'm throwing it to you now. What's your thought? So the question is, what's your thought on the work of Christoph Luxemburg and Gabriel Salma?
Oh,
yes, because I think from the other speakers, I mean non-Arabic speakers, yes, but I really want to hear it from a native Arabic speaker on this. Yes, thank you, please.
I myself find Christoph Luxemburg very interesting and fascinating. However, it really transcends the Arabic that we speak today. He goes into etymology of the word. And when it comes to the etymology, you cannot really, I cannot analyze what Christoph is saying, being an Arabic speaker today, because he goes into the roots of the words. And what to be honest with you, what he says makes perfect sense. So I'm a big fan of him. I like what he presents, but yeah, it's it's a different level of linguistic analysis.
I see, because I see when I read the book and also Gabriel Salma's book, I think it's very difficult for me to sort of understand, because I would imagine if I do have the knowledge of the Arabic language, perhaps it will be a bit easier for me or someone who knows Arabic to be able to sort of go a bit deeper into that, because I think, but again, okay, perhaps I will change the question a little bit. Okay, so as a native Arabic speaker, when you read the Quran, do you find it all clear, or is it not at all? Okay, so even someone who speaks Arabic early on from the day you were born, that's the first language, when you read the book, you also find it, not find it difficult, but it's not all clear to you.
The best example I can give you is like, if you are an English native speaker,
yes,
how easy it is to read the works of Shakespeare or Charles Dickens. The English that we speak today is a lot different from the English that Shakespeare used to use. Multiply that by, like, the difference between us and Shakespeare is multiplied by probably 3 times, 1400 years for the Quran. So no, a lot of the words in the Quran are actually redundant words that we don't use in our language today. It is only used in formal Arabic. And some of the words are not even used in formal Arabic or even street language anymore. It's just the reason we know it is because we read the Quran. But these words are...
I see.
And the other thing, going back to Christoph Luxemburg, think about it. He goes to the level that if we pick an English word for example, like the word infant, meaning a child, Now we can argue that the word infant, does it come from the French enfant, or is it really an English word? So that's what he does with Arabic words. He takes the word and says, is it really an Arabic word, or does it go back to Syriac and Aramaic? And he starts argue the source of the word. Is it English? Is it French? Is it Arabic? It's amazing. And to be honest, a lot of the Arabic speakers today wouldn't understand Christoph Luxemburg very well. He goes really deep. So it takes someone who's very linguistic.
Because there is one argument that is made by one of the Indonesian polemicus apologists. He said that actually
I think I lost you.
Jono, you mute your mic. Okay, I think it's got trouble or something. So, as an Arabic speaker,
sorry, Mustafi, I was muted. Thank you. Okay, so I think yes, Brother Adam. I think one of the point that is made by one of Indonesian polemicus is actually that we do understand that languages in the world they do evolve over time.
True.
However, though, in civilization or communities, for example, in Arabic region, Middle East, for example, or say in Indonesia, if we do absorb a word from another language, there is a common agreement about the meaning of the word itself.
Correct.
For example, calculator is not an Indonesian word, but all Indonesian would understand that calculator is it's a machine used to calculate. However, there are words, I think, based on observation, there are words that in Quran that even for the Arabic native speakers, there are different, how do you call it, different tafsirs. For example, the word rakim in Surah Al-Kahf. So there are different meanings. People would think one, it's a city, it's a place or other things. So
it's a complete guess. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Right. It's a complete guess. So that's actually indicates somehow that one, perhaps it
is borrowed from somewhere.
It is borrowed, and it's not really something that is comes from the evolution of the language. So it's something that is picked up from. But again, this is just But
yeah. It is. It makes perfect sense.
Oh, okay. Thank you again, Brother Adam. Sorry, Bu Sofi, sedikit lepas dari ini. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Jadi tadi kita baca. So, you think the original Quran is an Aramaic, brother? Because I do believe so. Because we have like Brother Hussein is also an Arabic speaker. He said like the words zakwa and zakat and I forgot the word. It only had meaning in Aramaic. So why do you have an Arabic Quran, but the word is Aramaic? It's not an Arabic word, like zakwa and I forgot. So this one I want to show you on the screen. Here is Ahmad Hashim. He said like he's amending to to change the Quran because he said like there are 2,500 grammatical mistakes in the Hafs Quran. And you as an Arabic speaker and you understand the Arabic language, do you think that the Quran that you read right now it has grammatical mistakes?
It does indeed, yeah.
Oh, the grammatical is in the harakat or in the razam or what do you think?
It's hard for me. Okay, sorry, go ahead.
Oke, saya menanyakan ada 2.500 kesalahan ejaan di dalam Quran versi Hafs sekarang ya. Dan ini adalah penulis Brother Ahmad Hashim. Dan saya menanyakan Brother Adam El Masri sebagai seorang orang yang berbahasa Arab. Apakah benar Quran yang sekarang ini mengandung kesalahan tata bahasa atau ejaan? Dia mengatakan benar sekali. Jadi bahkan untuk orang Arab, Quran ini sekarang ada kesalahan tata bahasa dan ejaan. Oke, can you show this different grammatical mistakes? Do you have examples?
I actually cannot. It's very hard to show, let alone to demonstrate it in English, because these type of grammatical mistakes are not in
Teman-teman, secara
rasm
langsung
or
ini
harakat.
langsung dari Zoom ya,
It's
dan disiarkan langsung lewat
sorry, I
penginjil
take this
YouTube
back.
ya, di YouTube.
Sometimes it is in rasm,
Juga di
sometimes it
penginjil
is in
TikTok.
harakat. But the reason
Secara langsung dari
it would be
WFM,
wrong grammatically
We are for Mutadin,
Yes.
is
disiarkan
the way
langsung oleh
you make
penginjil
the
YouTube
judgment about the subject
dan
and the
penginjil
noun.
TikTok.
It's very hard to explain in English, to be honest, and it goes out of my expertise in formal Arabic grammar. We're talking
Oh,
about
yeah.
ancient grammar. We're not talking about modern day grammar.
Iya, jadi memang ada ya kesalahan-kesalahan itu, tapi ini bukan keahlian dari Brother Adam untuk menilainya, karena ini kita bicara mengenai gramatikal pada zaman kuno. Jadi orang-orang harus tahu belajar linguistik atau belajar bahasa di situ. Oke, thank you Brother Adam for confirming that. Any other questions before I ask another question? Silakan
Just-
teman-teman, ada yang mau tanya? Ya, silakan.
Sedikit, just a quick one, Brother Adam. Would you be able to read Arabic without the harakat?
Yes, actually, today we don't write Arabic with haraka unless you're writing for for an academic article or for the news. But we don't usually write Arabic with harakat. You kind of guess it along the way.
So it's based on the context of the sentence.
Yes.
Okay. I see, understood. Thank you. Yeah.
Okay, Brother Adam, I want to ask you one more question, like the missing verses and the missing chapter in the Quran today. It has been reported that Surah Al-Azab is usually as like in the time of Muhammad, it is
Was
as
much
long
longer.
as Surah Al-Baqarah.
True. Yes.
Is that
And
true?
that is hadith sahih. So it is not refuted. It was more than 200 verses. However, what we have today of Surah Al-Ahzab is 73 verses. So clearly there were a missing chunk in this. And then Muslim apologists claim that, yes, it was long, but then I'm not sure what's the word in English. Do you know what it means that it was rufi'a? Rufi'a as in it was cancelled or it was
Abrogated?
Abrogated, thank you. That's the word. So they claim that these verses were abrogated, and it doesn't make any sense because we're talking about 130 verses from one surah that was abrogated. Like, come on, what was the point of sending them down to start with? So yeah, you can see that the apologetic response is a bit of a nonsense.
Oke, ini saya tunjukkan ya teman-teman, ini hadis yang sahih kata Brother Adam El Masri, bahwa surah Al-Azab itu tadinya pada waktu zaman Muhammad itu lebih dari 200 ayat. Ya. Tetapi sekarang surah Al-Azab surah 33 itu hanya 73 ayat. Dan ini hadis ini sahih dan tidak ada yang menolak. Ya. Kemudian Muslim mengatakan, oh itu surah itu dibatalkan katanya. Ya, lalu ini nggak benar ya kalau dibatalkan ya. The one who is abrogated, I think the verses of breastfeeding for adult and the stoning for adultery. I think a sheep or a chicken ate the musaf and it was abrogated. The stoning and the breastfeeding for adult. This I have the reference. This, do you think this is true? Muslim always deny this.
Well, sorry. Then the word that I was using, it wasn't abrogated. Then it was cancelled. So that they claim, they claim that God sent some verses down, and then He kind of did a recall. The exact word is recall. So he took them back.
Oh, he took them back. He took the verses back.
Yes, so he took the 130 verses back, which is absolutely ridiculous. What was the point of sending them down?
Yes, it's clearly missing. Jadi Muslim mengatakan ini suratnya tuh di cancel tuh artinya ditarik balik. Jadi ayat-ayatnya ditarik lagi nih sama Allah. Ya, jadi ini nggak masuk akal. But what about this one, brother, from Aisha? Aisha narrated that the stoning and the breastfeeding for adult 10 times was revealed, and the Musaf was eaten by a sheep or chicken or something. So this verse is clearly, because the stoning right now is not in the Quran, but they don't abrogate it in the in the Sharia law, right?
Yes, very true. And they don't abrogate it because there is also another hadith that when they asked the Prophet about what's the penalty for adultery, he confirmed that it is as written in the Torah, in the Bible, so which confirms the stoning. So that's why the apologetic response today is that, well, yes, the verses were abrogated, but their impact is not abrogated. So, yeah.
Oke, jadi ini ada salah satu juga ya, Aisyah mengatakan bahwa ayat rajam dan ayat menyusui dewasa ini dimakan domba, katanya musafnya hilang. Tapi ternyata sampai sekarang ayat-ayat rajam ketika ada orang berzina, mereka harus dirajam atau dilempari dengan batu, ini masih ada ya. Dan Muhammad mengkonfirmasikan ini harus dirajam sesuai dengan apa yang ada di dalam Taurat. Jadi inilah ayat-ayat yang hilang ya teman-teman ya, 200 lebih ayat hilang. Ini menunjukkan bahwa Quran tidak terpelihara secara sempurna. Oke, silakan sang penggugat.
I'm sorry, but I will probably have to get off soon. It's getting late here in Australia.
Yes,
and I wonder if anyone else has any questions or.
Ada yang mau tanya lagi nggak? Ini Brother Adam sudah mau mengakhiri di sini. Sang penggugat, I think there's one more question. Sang penggugat mau tanya nggak?
Oh ya.
Terakhir ya, this is the last question.
Jadi gini, kalau mengenai ayat rajam dan persusuan orang dewasa itu kan, kalau di hadis ada 3 versi. Ini yang mana yang benar? Coba ditanyakan. Dimakan rayap, dimakan burung, apa dimakan domba yang benar? Karena ada 3 di hadis itu.
Yeah, Brother Adam, which one is true? Who ate the musaf of Aisha? Is it a sheep, a chicken? What is dachin actually? Who ate the Quran? Who ate the Quran? Siapa nih yang makan Qurannya musafnya Aisyah? Ayo.
So the word that was used in this hadith, دخل داجن فأكلها, which means a type of bird. So it's a chicken or a duck or so a chicken is.
Chicken, yeah, chicken is part of the bird.
So chicken or a duck or dagan is the birds that you would usually have in a farm. So a farm bird, probably a chicken. Farm
Mungkin yang
bird.
makan chicken kayaknya nih, ayam peternakan, burung-burung yang diternak, yang burung jinak gitu. Okay.
Yeah. Or
Okay,
a cock.
I think that's or a cock.
Yeah, because
Not a duck.
So yeah, we have chicken and cocks in a farm. So one of these.
Ya, kalau nggak ini ayam jantan ya makan ya. Nggak tahu nih antara bebek, ayam apa ini. Okay, I think it's enough. I think Pak Humisar saya rasa udah diakhiri ya Pak. Udah terlalu malam nih kayaknya buat Adam. I think Brother Adam, we have to end our program right now. And thank you very much for you coming.
Thank you for having
anything
me.
else you want to say for the conclusions of our program today?
No, thank you very much for having me. I really enjoyed the conversation, and I would appreciate it if you can put a link to my channel in the description of this video. That would be much appreciated. The English channel.
Okay.
But if you cannot, that's fine.
Yeah, we'll put your English channel on my YouTube.
Thank you very much, and much appreciated.
Okay, terima kasih dong. Sampaikan salam untuk Brother Adam. What's thank you in Arabic, brother? Shukran.
Shukran.
Shukran. Yeah, shukran. Thank you very much, Brother Adam El Masri, and we will see you next time. Thank you from us from Indonesia. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having
Shukran, Brother Adam.
Afwan, Sadiqi. Thank you so much.
Yeah, okay. Bisa di cut off, Pak.
Bye-bye.
Yeah,
Shalom.
bye-bye. Shalom, brother. Okay, we can end the program. Pak Petra, dari Tarik.
Oke, ditutup. Terus tutup end broadcast-nya.